So when we're working with transversals, the majority of the time we're going to be dealing with two parallel lines that are cut by a transversal. And that's going to look a lot like this here, where we have, we have our two lines that are parallel. That's what this little mark here is. And then the transversal cuts them through the middle. And so we know if our lines are parallel and they are cut by a transversal, then we have that corresponding angles are congruent, meaning that they have the exact same measure. Alternate interior angles are also congruent. Alternate exterior angles are congruent, but consecutive interior angles are supplementary. Supplementary means that they add up to 180. And it says here, now we have not done, obviously, we're called from Unit 1, but vertical angles. Now, vertical angles are always congruent. Vertical angles are angles like here, 1 and 3, that are part of the same angle cluster, and they are across from each other. And whether we're dealing with parallel lines or not, in an angle cluster, vertical angles, the ones across from each other, are always congruent, which means that I can mark that angle 1 is congruent to angle 3 with that single line, and then I can actually do 2 here for 2 and 2 for 4 to say that 2 and 4 are also congruent because they are vertical angles. And then a linear pair is always supplementary. A linear pair are two angles that combine to make a straight line. So angle 1 and angle 2 would add up to equal 180. So I'm going to show you how to use this information. It says if we know one angle measure, we can find all of them. So for number 1, let's see if I can get this to... So for the first example, I'm just going to go ahead and do this. We know that angle 1 is 65 degrees. And so I've already told you, because angle 1 and angle 3 are vertical angles, we know that angle 3 is also 65 degrees. And it says give your reasoning. It's because angle 3 is a vertical angle to angle 1. Other angle pairs that we can make to angle 1. We know that angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding because they are in the same position. Okay, so since angle 5 is corresponding angle to angle 1, that means angle 5 is also 65 degrees. And then we also know angle 7 is 65 degrees because angle 7 is an alternate, I'm going to abbreviate this, alternate exterior angle to angle 1. And so we know that angles 1, 3, 5, and 7 are all 65 degrees. Now, angle 1 and angle 2 are a linear pair, meaning that when you put them next to each other, they create a straight line, and we know that a linear pair is supplementary, which means angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 180. So if I take my calculator and just do 180 minus 65, I will get that angle 2 is 115 degrees. Now I know that angle 2 and angle 4 here I've already marked are vertical angles. So that means angle 4 is also 115 degrees. Angle 4 and angle 6 here are alternate interior angles, which makes angle 6 115 degrees. And then for my last one, angle 8 is an alternate exterior angle to angle 2. So it is 115 degrees. It's worth noting here that the degree measures of these angles are set, but your reasons could have been very different. We did not use consecutive interior angles at all in here. I very easily could have said that since I know angle 5 is 65, that means angle 4 must be 115 because they are consecutive interior angles. Lots of different angle pairs that you can make out of all of these. Does not mean that this is specifically what you need to have. I would recommend that you pause the video here and go try example 2, and then you can come back and check your work. Okay, I'm just marking 142 degrees in here. It should be pretty easy to see for these problems which angles are obviously going to be congruent. So you should be able to see that angle 1 should also be 142 degrees, as well as 3 and 8. I like to write them in and then go back and write out my answers afterwards. So let's see, I'm going to say that angle 1 is a vertical angle to angle 6. Angle 3 is an alternate interior to angle 6. And 8 is corresponding. So I know that angle 1 and angle 2 are a linear pair. And I could have done angle 2 to angle 6 as well. And then 180 minus 142 gives me that this is 38 degrees, which is going to be the rest of these. So then we have angle 4. Angle 4 is corresponding. It's in the same position as angle 2. Angle 5 is alternate exterior to angle 4. And then angle 7 is vertical to angle 4. There we go.